Hello folks, this is Steve AB4yo. I'm going to see if I can recreate something that happened on my other machine a few minutes ago. Nothing in this episode is a promotion, nor is it a recommendation. It's a little bit of reminiscing, but also the way I kind of have fun. So I was looking at various leading newspapers, and I came to Bloomberg. Boy, they packed so much stuff in here. I remember I'm doing a recreate. So I was scrolling down looking at the headlines because I'm not subscribed, which means if I try to read the articles, they say, you ain't subscribed, log in. So I was going way down, and it's this one here. Newsletter, odd lots, empty store shelves might be coming sooner than you think. Actually, I didn't click on it. You see what it does to me. But empty store shelves might be coming sooner than you think. Map of Yugoslavia, which it doesn't exist. 1966. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is good. So where's the map? Hang on. There we go. Where is President Trump's wife from? She's from a country called Slovenia. This is Austria. This is Italy. This was the various republics in communist Yugoslavia under Tito in 1966 when I was in the capital city of Slovenia, Ljubljana. Stayed in the university dormitory 2.5 days. The most extensive conversation I had actually was with an Indian guy who was studying there rather than having gone to the United States like my prior roommates back in the States. If you remember any of my history, my first roommate in college was from India. Later, we roomed together in Philadelphia because we both became dropouts. Stray. He went back, but his brother came and we were apartment mates for 3 years. What I remember was he showed me the textbooks that they were using, which were in English, and they're the same ones I had when I was in college before I dropped out for my freshman and sophomore years. Now, why did I come to this? Because I remember going into a couple of smaller stores in the vicinity of the university campus, and I remember that they were basically empty shelves. They had a few goods. Think of like Dollar General. You go into Dollar General, the stores are crammed. The one just down the road here, quarter mile. Went into something like that, and there was barely anything on the shelf in the vicinity of the major university. So my assumption was the economy of Yugoslavia was struggling. That was my impression in 1966, which is why I thought to tell you about what I saw in Ljubljana, Republic of Slovenia, Yugoslavia in 1966. Empty store shelves might be coming sooner than you think. I've seen it because I had traveled through about 20 countries, Europe, across North Africa, Middle East, back to Yugoslavia was the only country actually where I saw that kind of nothing on the shelves. But it was behind the, quote, sort of speaking, behind the Iron Curtain. Not quite. Yugoslavia and Romania were kind of outlaws, but what was the state of the Yugoslav economy in 1966? That was the next thing I did. Then I got a surprise. In 1966, the Yugoslav economy was experiencing a period of rapid growth characterized by a blend of market socialism and state-led development. Yugoslavia was one of the fastest growing countries in Europe during the 50s and 60s. Now, admittedly, I didn't go to deep downtown in Ljubljana, but so then I clicked on this one. Economy of Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. This article has multiple issues. The lead section may be, pardon my frog, may be too short to adequately summarize the key points. Somebody put that in 2021. Article needs additional citations for verification. Post-World War II years. 50s. 60s. Reforms and guest worker schemes. 1964, when Yugoslavia was granted special associate status of, so it looks like they were trying to do something, and that would be true for Tito. Official work week was 48 hours until 63. 65, this is always an indicator. In 1965, a new dinar was introduced. That's their, like, dollar or pound sterling or Israeli shekel, right? The main bill. A new dinar, which that word usually would be North African. The previous dinar traded at 700 to the US dollar. Now, what does that mean? Was replaced with a new dinar traded at 12.5 to the US dollar. How does that happen? How can they unilaterally decide that? What does it indicate about the actual state of their economy? When did France introduce the new franc? Remember, we're talking about the 1960s. (1960). It was reintroduced in decimal form, after 2 centuries of inflation, meaning the money wasn't worth anything. The government was spending more than it was taking in taxes and other things, and it was selling debt. And finally it gets to the point where, now watch, after 2 centuries of inflation, we're speaking about the Republic of France, 1960, de Gaulle. It was redenominated in 1960 with each, notice how I knew it, new franc, NF, being worth 100 old francs. People were tired of having to use wheelbarrows to move the paper money around. Thinking of Germany before Hitler. That's essentially what they're saying about Yugoslavia in that article. But they said it had a rapidly expanding economy. Bullshit. See, there's contradiction in my mind. I'm not an economist. What Yugoslavia was doing was they were allowing their citizens to go get jobs in places like West Germany and send money home. When I was working in Mexico in 91, 92, and I would go into Mexico City, I never saw an obese person. We have lots of Mexicans around here because North Carolina got about a whole bunch of them. They're my neighbors. They're in all the stores. They're in school. Do you think they're all skinny now? Not even the new arrivals. And I can tell the new arrivals by the way they can not almost speak English at all when I see them at the laundromat. And none of them are skinny. What does that tell you about the Mexican economy? People have a lot more money now than they did in 1991 and 2. They can eat better. You know how much I bought a full meal for at the university cafeteria? And I paid for it with a U.S. American dime. They were willing to sell me a tray full of food for an actual U.S. dime. They didn't care that I didn't have any Yugoslav money. What does that say about an economy? It means that they had a funnel to sell those to people trying to go abroad, and they would make a profit on it beyond the official exchange rate. Where did I learn that? North Africa. Algeria. Oh. You know what I remember about the new francs and the old francs? Because when I got to Morocco in 1966, I discovered that they were using the French old francs and French old centime coins along with their own currency is equivalent. France shipped they didn't burn it. They just exchanged it at the banks and then shipped all that paper and all those coins to Morocco and Algeria for them to use because they were French colonies. That's how bad their economies were. Am I teaching you something? Am I learning you something? Well, I want to show you something. So when I was doing the search, I scrolled down a little further and I saw this. OECD.org, Echo Survey Ukes 1966 English. It says here, Yugoslavia 1966, billion of old dinars at current prices, blah, blah, blah. Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Paris, August 1966. Basic statistics of Yugoslavia. You want to know it by the, like Belgrade, there's Ljubljana, page 183. Can we scroll down further, or is that as far as it's taking me? Oh, that's, wait a minute. I haven't done this. That's page 30. But do you see what's online? Now watch. OECD Economic Survey, Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, 1966. Available in English. Download the PDF. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I don't know where that downloaded. Open link in new tab. This is not the one I thought. Hang on. Oh, this is the one. Pardon me. I can't find the one. Here we go. This report provides a review of economic position of Yugoslavia as of 1966. Here it is. worldbank.org. Now you saw that other one. Yugoslavia, Current Economic Position and Perspectives, Volume 3 of 3, Memorandum of Economic Situation, English. And it's as of 1966. And see, this one opened directly in my browser. They're smarter. This was officially put into their library archive May 23rd, 1967. You notice that it's typewritten. This memorandum is designed to supplement and bring up to date the economic report of September 1966. The economic reform, though Yugoslavia has achieved a remarkable record of economic growth since World War II, by the early 1960s, certain weaknesses in the structure and organization of the economy have emerged. The great emphasis given to the expansion in manufacturing had resulted in a distortion pattern, blah, 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 blah. Workers self-guided management, all that. Look at this. World Bank. I can get a report from 1966 sitting here in the Piedmont of North Carolina without going to a university library or having to go to a government repository, usually at a major land-grant university. Did you understand that? There's a library at the community college. There are private colleges in North Carolina. Some of them are universities like there are in Raleigh, but then there's North Carolina State University. There's Western Carolina University. Those are state land-grant universities, and as such, the way they get some of their federal money is that they are U.S. government repositories as part of their library obligations. So you can get things like USGS, United States Geological Survey, a mineral prospector's report from 1918 in the Badlands of southwestern Colorado and the things he found, which I used to research before a girlfriend of mine sent me going looking for plant fossils that were mentioned in the prospector's memorandum. See, I've had an interesting life. So what I just discovered was that the World Bank's got, I wonder, see, they have a depository of documents too, just like I was saying about federal government depositories of land-grant university libraries. Understanding Poverty, Research and Publications, Documents and Reports. I didn't do this before. I'm just going to go 1890. Just for the fun of it. Oh, this is World Bank. I forgot. Excuse me. That's why I was talking about all those African countries. Do you play with a search engine like this? Do you stumble on unexpected finds? Old Frank versus New Frank. Images. No, see, they translate. You see what they did? Do you see what the search engine just did? The big AI shit? They added an E, and I didn't notice. You see what they're trying to do? You have to fight the AI, because it's so smart. So if I put quotes on there, they can't add the E for the search. Did you know that? You see the difference? De Gaulle. Did I say de Gaulle? I'm looking to see if it said, I'm looking for the ones where they said New Frank on it. Banknotes of France. It's in Greek. This part up here is in Greek. Very good. This will give me what I want. $1961, 5 new francs. You see it right here? Nouveau franc. Nouveau franc. Look down here. 5 new francs. Banque de France. 5. NF. Nouveau franc. Cinq, C-I-N-Q, Nouveau franc. See how it says it? Let's go back. Now, see, my mind wanders like this, but I brought this up during the talk. 1952. 10,000 francs. Oh, it's got the same face almost. Here, 1954, 500 francs. Cent francs. Cinq is 5. Cents, plural, is hundreds, francs. You don't see nouveau. So when they did the switch over in the 1960s, this 500 became 5. This 500 became 5. But they didn't, for a short while you would have this kind of stuff circulating at the same time as the new ones. And the banks, you go to the banks and they make you pay in with this, and they won't, but what they give you as change or anything is the new ones, and then they could either burn them, but instead they ship them to places like Morocco and Algeria to be used as currency there. Does that sound preposterous to you? When did Algeria vote? When did Algeria get independence? De Gaulle had a referendum. The choices were threefold, given to all of the people in Algeria. The first choice was to continue as you were, as a colony of France. The second choice was to become a part of metropolitan France. What does that mean? To stop being Algeria as an independent colony or country and to become a département, like a state. Think of what our president keeps saying about Canada. The 51st state. De Gaulle offered them Algeria the chance to become the equivalent to a département, that's what they called them, of France, but it was across the Mediterranean. Nothing new in that idea, by the way. Got a couple islands just off of Canada that are sort of in that situation. Oh, and the third choice was what? Independence, but that was the third choice, not the first choice. What do you think they chose? independence. So you see how the Bank of France could have been shipping all that old paper there in a hurry instead of burning it and polluting the air? Look, I'm having fun. It started with this. It caught my eye, this little one down here, caught my eye, and I immediately thought of Ljubljana. It's like all of my life lives just under the horizon of consciousness. Steve AB40, just having fun and reminiscing and BSing, saying see you in 73.